All right, it's live. We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, The United Road. And as you can see, not alone today. I have been joined by a huge Real Madrid fan, I will say lifelong Real Madrid fan. Dhenuka, welcome to the channel for the first time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, so जैसा मैंने बोला, my stream starts slow. So पहले we will just talk about your role with the Madrid Pena, how you started following Real Madrid, and because we have lots of things to cover. So first of all,
Correct.
how you got into Real Madrid? Because India में है Real Madrid का fan base, but when you look at
हाँ.
the timings of the game and everything, वो थोड़ा different difficult होता है because Premier League का time if you see, तो वो
Yep.
subcontinent के according they have done, but when you look
Correct.
at in Spain, वो उस तरीके से भी नहीं है.
Right. Correct. Hi Anish. Yeah. वही तो क्या है ना कि I'm like a little sort of older than I suppose the people now, many of the guys now. So I started supporting Spain actually back in 1998. So the 98 World Cup जो था उस टाइम पे I supported Spain and I started I started following Spain and उस टाइम पे तो कुछ होता नहीं था राइट कवरेज वगैरह यहाँ पे ला लीगा का नहीं होता था बिल्कुल. So, but I think it started changing around 2000 वगैरह में फिर भी I could actually pester my cable वाला at the time कि कहीं से मतलब करा दो stream मतलब मुझे कोई एक चैनल से like अब्रॉड से कोई एक चैनल अगर मिल जाए जो ब्रॉडकास्ट कर रहा है ये सो वैसे जुगाड़ जैसे बोलते हैं यहाँ पे जुगाड़ करके वी यूज्ड टू गेट मैचेस एंड स्पोराडिक मतलब मैचेस होते थे ऐसे नहीं कि हर एक मैच तो नहीं दिखाते थे तो हुआ यूं कि एक्चुअली वो टाइम पे रोनाल्डो नजारियो एंड देन जिनेडिन जिडान फर्स्ट एंड देन रोनाल्डो नजारियो और जैसे मैंने कहा स्पेन में आई एम अ ह्यूज राहुल फैन तो स्पेनिश नेशनल टीम को फॉलो करते हुए 98 से सो द द द शिफ्ट वाज टुवर्ड्स मैड्रिड क्योंकि ये सारे प्लेयर्स तो मैड्रिड में ही आ गए बाद में and Zidane as well after the 98 final जो मेन मतलब मैंने मैच देखा द बिग साइनिंग जो रियल मैड्रिड के लिए हुआ उनका सो आई बिकेम अ रियल मैड्रिड फैन बिकॉज ऑफ दैट एंड अराउंड 2005 ish फिर भी यहाँ पे टेलीकास्ट के लिए बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे लाइक ऑन एंड ऑफ पिकअप होता था एंड देन कोई मैचेस दिखाते थे बार्सिलोना के एंड रियल मैड्रिड के नन ऑफ द अदर टीम्स के मैचेस एटलीस्ट आई रिमेंबर सीइंग उस टाइम पे फिर बाद में ये हुआ कि हम देयर वाज अ सोशल नेटवर्क कॉल्ड ऑर्कुट जो फेसबुक के पहले स्टार्ट हुआ और ऑर्कुट में ऐसा हुआ कि मैंने जाके ऐसे टाइप किया वहाँ पे ग्रुप्स होते थे तो मैंने ग्रुप्स में मैंने टाइप किया रियल मैड्रिड फैन क्लब तो मुझे मिला एक ग्रुप वहाँ पे वेयर देयर वर लॉट्स ऑफ फैंस एंड बाद में हमको पता चला कि काफी सारे जो फैंस हैं दे आर फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड उसमें से भी देयर वाज अ लॉट हु वाज अ लॉट ऑफ फैंस फ्रॉम मुंबई तो उस टाइम पे वी डिसाइडेड much later ki we can all meet up in Bombay at that time and also the people who were part of that larger sort of group आगे जाके they went on to follow form Penyas and तो केरला के जो president है he used to be a part of that Orkut group तो सारे वहाँ से आके नागपुर a lot of these fans then went on to sort of spread this whole Pena thing but Pena मतलब साथ Bombay या Bombay Pena जो है जिसकी मैं part हूँ that Pena was the first one to get formed because तब उससे पता चला यहाँ पे कि there is this concept of a Pena जो एक officially recognized fan club है by Real Madrid तो that's how it started I think 2005 में हम live scrap करते थे जिनको मतलब टेलीकास्ट देखने मिलता था जो स्पेन वगैरह में थे उनको तो मिलता ही था देयर वर पीपल फ्रॉम स्पेन कनाडा यूएस तो वो स्क्रैप करते थे और मेरे जैसे कुछ लोग जिनको मिल जाता था कहीं से देखने के लिए तो वी यूज्ड टू डू दैट वहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ एंड देन या दैट्स हाउ बॉम्बे पेनिया स्टार्टेड एंड अभी आई थिंक वी आर क्लोज टू ऑफिशियल रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद इट विल बी आई थिंक 10 years next year तो
Alright,
नाउ वी
so
हैव मल्टीपल पेनियास हाँ
So when we talk about Real Madrid, we also when we see the first fan club, the supporters club, so India में
Yeah.
शुरू हुआ for United, that also came in Bombay as well. So
Correct.
they have recently achieved I guess 10 years around. So very a lot of similarity over there. And as I said, we have a lot of to talk about. But as a fan, as a Real Madrid fan, and as we say, India में girls उस तरीके का fan culture उस तरीके से नहीं है. Like we have lot of fans, but screenings pay, and when we look at going out and support, so in the beginning, do you felt any do you feel कि उस तरीके से you were being a bit थोड़ा सा pull back किया जा रहा है उस तरीके से, you had all the support from everyone around you?
हाँ, तो मेरे यहाँ कैसा है, माई ब्रदर इज मच ओल्डर टू मी. फैमिली में देखा जाए तो माई ब्रदर इज अ ह्यूज स्पोर्ट्स फैनेटिक. तो हमारे यहाँ पे इफ यू डिडंट वॉच स्पोर्ट्स देन प्रीटी मच मतलब टीवी भूल जाओ, तो और कुछ शायद देख ही नहीं पाते. एंड ही इज मच ओल्डर देन आई एम. सो उस टाइम पे तो इट यूज्ड टू बी लाइक अरे नहीं मुझे ये देखना है, चल हट टाइप. सो ही बिकॉज ही वाज मच ओल्डर देन मी आल्सो. बट ऐसा हुआ कि आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इनटू क्रिकेट, फुटबॉल एंड ऑल ऑफ दी स्पोर्ट्स. एंड फिर मेरे जो कजिन्स वगैरह है वो भी फॉलो करते थे. दे आर आर्सेनल फैंस, मैन यूनाइटेड फैंस. तो आई यूज्ड टू सो उनके साथ मतलब मैचेस देखती थी रात को, प्रीमियर लीग हो या फिर हमको जब भी मिलता था. तो एंड most importantly with Bombay Penia मुझे और Orkut at that time, because it was a global community ना, और ये वो first form of social media था. तो उसमें कैसा हुआ, we were very lucky. एक धरा करके there is Marissa from Canada. हम दो लड़कियां थी पहले वहाँ पे 2005 के टाइम पे. एंड हम अभी भी मतलब टच में. एंड हैप्पी बर्थडे धरा, आज उसका बर्थडे है. तो शी वाज, तो हम बहुत इंसुलेटेड थे वो एनवायरनमेंट में. हमको कभी वहाँ पे किसी ने बोला नहीं, बिकॉज आई गेस वी वर अमंग द स्टार्टिंग पीपल. मतलब जो स्टार्टिंग से ही हम लोग थे वहाँ पे, और हम वोकल थे वहाँ पे. हम डिस्कस करते थे मैचेस एंड एवरीवन वाज टू मच इनटू इट. बहुत खुशी मिली लोगों को कि अरे ऐसा कुछ ग्रुप है ऑर्कुट पे. तो आई थिंक वहाँ पे तो कभी ऐसा कुछ रेजिस्टेंस नहीं था. एंड आई थिंक आई हैव जस्ट बीन वेरी लकी कि कहीं से मुझे ये ऑपोजिशन नहीं मिला. हाँ ये है कि मतलब वो रेगुलर ट्रोल्स तो हर मतलब बोल लो कहीं पे भी आपको मिल ही जाएंगे कि ये कुछ कोई भी बात हो तो यू हैव टू प्रूव कि while they'll never ask a guy कि really you watch football. तो लेकिन ये सब मतलब ये सब नजरअंदाज करना होता है. यू कांट लाइक कीप थिंकिंग अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. ये सब तो चलता ही है. वो we've accepted that. And अभी बहुत चेंज हो गया. अभी now there are lots of female football fans, and it is so I feel very happy to see that. And अभी content creators भी काफी है, and now it's changing. And exposure भी काफी है of all the different leagues I think. So you will find all of these supporters in all the leagues, and especially female football fans. But I was just really lucky I think to get by.
All right, so we are going to talk about, as I said, the first leg first. We
Yeah.
will get into football because, as I said, we have a lot of things to discuss. As United, as United fan. Oh, sorry, as Real Madrid fan. I am so used to saying United fan. कभी भी United fan ही निकल रहा है. So, as a Real Madrid fan, two words for the first leg against City.
Um, thank you, Celia. And also, okay, 2 to 3 words. Um, scraped by, uh, not bad. These are the things that come to mind. To be very very honest with you, as an honest fan, as an honest review or whatever you want to call this, मुझे लगता है scraped by and yeah, lucky.
Like when we see as a neutral fan, we see the football that City plays, and we have seen how Real Madrid just shows up every time, in the
Yeah,
चैंपियंस लीग.
champion.
मतलब चैंपियंस लीग में मैड्रिड इज अ टोटली डिफरेंट प्रोस्पेक्ट. वो लीग में कुछ भी कर रहे हो, लीग में वो 2 मैच हारे, 3 मैच हारे, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. जब व्हेन दे प्ले द चैंपियंस लीग, दे आर
Hmm,
टोटली डिफरेंट टीम. वी हैव सीन दैट इन द पास्ट. you know
absolutely.
Even after getting 2-0 down, even I
Yes.
was on my stream, I was saying one more goal and Madrid is back in the game. But I will come back to the point. Two goals in just 20 minutes. How important is Casemiro?
Yeah, so I was among the people, to be very honest, I was among the people who thought this would not make so much of a difference, because the last time he played against City, his record was a little iffy. Like, he finds it difficult in tight spaces to sort of, make room and sort of carry on with the play. But I did not think about it defensively. No one, I think, expected the defense to perform the way they performed that day. And I get it. I get it now that, Alaba was not 100%. Mendy had just come back from an injury, and his record after an injury has always been a little dicey. Uh, and there was Militao, who has been having sort of a poor couple of matches, even in La Liga, couple se bhi zyada actually. He has been having few like off matches, and then Carvajal. So I honestly did not expect it to be that bad, the defense to be that bad. So I until the match, I did not realize how much of a difference Casemiro would have made. So I was also thinking, okay, fine, you might scrape by, because our defense, to be very honest, has been really good this season. We did not miss Varane and Ramos to the extent we thought we would miss this entire league season. Not just looking at last ke char panch matches, but overall throughout the season, I didn't think that we missed two of our center backs, our legendary sort of, the three-peat winning center backs to leave, and these sort of this new combo of Militao and Alaba to settle in, and even Mendy chipping in with his performances, and Carvajal coming in clutch, not being injured for most of the season. I honestly thought it was really good up until this last game, which clearly exposed that, we don't have backup defenders, and this is the importance of signing defenders and having a good quality backup defender in, like, at least a couple of positions, and switching the play around, because that is the difference between Man City and a Real Madrid, where they did not have Cancelo, they did not have Walker fit. But look, they have options where, they don't struggle completely. Whereas Real Madrid, it is all down to the attack then, if that happens. So Casemiro was not there. Casemiro was also not there in the second leg against PSG. But it wasn't. But that was a different game, because the defense kind of did not fall apart. I think, like how it fell apart in the last game. So Casemiro's contribution would have been immense. He's a tank, and he would have given that much needed defensive cover, which our backline did not. So yeah, he's back the next game, but so are Cancelo and Walker. So
Exactly.
it'll be
So,
interesting.
yeah, even in the United fan circles, we were talking about, the same things that you said. कि when you look at for defensive covering, वो चीज नहीं है मैड्रिड के साथ पहली बार. you know अभी just आया है वापस, as you said, Mendy.
True.
And even with Militao, we had like lot of hopes from Militao. Like he was
Hmm.
going to be the next one जो Real Madrid के
True.
defense को next level पे लेके जाए, but we have not seen that. और इस चीज को लेके we were even talking कि वो उस level तक इस season में नहीं पहुंचा. Now that you are getting Rudiger, तो next season वो Rudiger के साथ खेलेगा, he will be as a backup and Alba. So lot of ifs and buts. But honest
No,
opinion on
but I would say that Militao, until the last game, he was. I agree with whoever has written there. Militao was complete rubbish. I totally agree. So, but then Militao has been having off games of late, and there are games where he completely switches off. But he has also had fantastic games this season. Okay, he has been. जब कोई परफॉर्म नहीं करता है, Alaba and Militao, you can sort of bank on them performing. वो he has been good if you look at the season on the whole. But अब पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, these last few matches, and especially the match against City as well. He is just, I don't know what, he's lost his mojo. I don't know what is happening, but he has been utterly rubbish. And या सो यही है कि आपने जो कहा कि रूडिगर अभी जो साइनिंग है, देयर वर पीपल हु वर एक्चुअली वंडरिंग रूडिगर को साइन करना था कि नहीं. इवन ये डायनामिक ऑलरेडी एस्टैब्लिश हो चुका है बिटवीन एल्बा एंड मिलिटाओ. these games should tell you that कि जो गहराई लक्ष्मी जो हम लोगों को चेल्सी फैंस जिन्होंने गिफ्ट किया है हमको रूडिगर, I mean, it is a much needed signing, and I would never say that ये इसकी शायद जरूरत नहीं थी. No, you definitely need it. And case in point, look at what happened in the first leg against City.
Exactly. So, Ankit Bhaiya was here, definitely he want to be happy because first
Prasanna
of
is
all,
here. He's yeah, he's also a Chelsea fan.
yeah, so मतलब, when we look at Rudiger के साथ एक चीज ये है कि back five, world class defender, switches to back four, average defender. Being a Germany fan, I have seen that guy, being snubbed time and time again because back four mein he struggles. And it's not just one time. So next season we are hearing that Madrid maybe there will be change of manager. We don't know yet. Carlo might be there, might not be there. Next manager. I have never seen a Real Madrid. You are supporting Real Madrid for a long time. I have been watching Real Madrid for a long time as well. But I have never seen Real Madrid playing with a back five, like
Back,
taking
back.
place of here and there. So
Yeah.
now is most of the times is a back five player. So how do you see that dimension going on, like in the next season?
I don't think so. So I honestly think that he, if you move Alaba as a left back, try Alaba as a left back, and I read this somewhere. Someone made a really good point that okay, one of the things we really miss about not having a Ramos and Varane and people with like an aerial presence, right? CBs with that aerial presence. Uh, Militao doesn't bring it. Neither does Alaba. Both of them are weak over there. So one of the options is if you move Alaba to the left, right? So that kind of he still plays to his strengths. He has played as a left back earlier, and so you will also get that from Alaba, and you will get Rudiger as a center back. You also need Rudiger for like his kind of we don't currently have that the bullish tendency, that I don't want to say rough player, but that bullish tendency that he has, and sort of that kind of intimidation factor that you need. I think he'll provide that aspect as well, and not to forget that we also can play Alaba as a defensive midfielder also. And the way we are going about, I think not signing Chouameni, that is an option to be explored. And then you can try multiple combinations, is what I think. When you have a player like Rudiger, and you already have a player like Alaba who's played in multiple positions. Someone was wondering, how about we move Militao to the right? See how he functions as a right back. What happens and what not. ये सब luxury तभी मिलेगी when you sign players, when you have people there in that position. And Rudiger brings with him a lot of other things also. Other than his natural play, his presence, his pace, all these things matter. So he will definitely. I think he should be effective on paper. All of these things. अब बाद में तो पता नहीं, जैसे आजाद किसी ने प्रेडिक्ट नहीं किया था कि ऐसा होने वाला है आफ्टर ही इज गोइंग टू कम टू मैड्रिड, तो ये तो कह नहीं सकते कि 100% he'll be a success at Madrid, but there is no reason why on paper he should not work. This is what I feel.
All right, so we will take some comments right now. You can see on the screen, Dhenuka Benzema has been on fire for Madrid.
Absolutely.
He's like the god of Madrid at this point of time. Whatever he
The
touches
God
turns
in
into.
white. Absolutely.
Exactly. Next thing is, this has been the topic of like interest for fans all around the world. You know,
More
Mbappe
than
to
one season. Huh.
yeah, Mbappe to Madrid is like on everyone's lips, and all
Sure.
of a sudden, Pochettino comes out and is like, I am not going anywhere. Mbappe is not going anywhere. So
Yeah,
your
I
thoughts
think
on that?
although I think that quote was taken out of context. Okay, मैंने बहुत ढूंढा वो original quote, वो क्या उसने कहा था, because a lot of news outlets were just reporting that one little bit that he kept saying. तो मैं ढूंढ रही थी, and I found one in French. I forget the handle, but what he essentially said was, and I might be paraphrasing क्योंकि ये French में था originally. तो उन्होंने ये कहा था कि उन्होंने स्टार्ट ये किया था कह के कि मैं फ्रॉम व्हाट आई फील, जो मतलब मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है और मैं जो देख रहा हूँ, बेस्ड ऑन दैट ही हैज ऑब्जर्व दैट एम्बापे कहीं नहीं जा रहा है, एंड उसने ये भी कहा है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई कैन विश फॉर। ओके, एंड देन ही सेड लेकिन फुटबॉल ऐसा एक गेम है जहाँ पे कहीं भी कुछ भी हो सकता है। दिस इज व्हाट ही सेड। मतलब आप अगर देख लो ना, ये वो टिपिकल ऐसा रिस्पॉन्स है जिसमें उन्होंने इट इज द ऑपोजिट ऑफ बहुत कुछ नहीं कह के भी कह दिया। उन्होंने बहुत कुछ कहा लेकिन एक्चुअली कुछ नहीं कहा है। इट्स नथिंग वी डोंट नो ऑलरेडी। उन्होंने ये कहा कि this is what he feels that he won't go and that he can only wish that Mbappe stays at Madrid, जो एक बहुत ही डिफरेंट। लेकिन उन्होंने ये भी वो परसेंटेज लगा दिया ना, आई 100%, फिर उन्होंने कहा फील that he is going to stay. So the press picked up that 100% wala part and just said, oh, he said he's going to 100% stay at ये PSG। तो ये तो अभी ये और खींचेगा, मैं बोल रही हूँ। ये हम लास्ट सीजन से देखते आ रहे हैं। और मैं, मेरा हमेशा का ये फेवरेट ये है सेइंग कि जब तक वो एम्बापे ये या ये नहीं कर रहा है, थम्स अप एंड व्हाट नॉट विद लाइक इलेक्ट्रोड स्टिकिंग आउट ऑफ हिज चेस्ट सैनिटाइज के बैकग्राउंड में, तब तक कुछ नहीं कह सकते कि वो आने वाला है नहीं आने वाला है। ये ड्रामा तो चलेगा बिकॉज दिस इज व्हाट कीप्स द प्रेस आल्सो गोइंग।
All right, so people out here, they also want to know the translation. So, guys, Dhenuka was basically saying that, at this point of time, it's all just news. They
Yeah,
have to keep the tabloids going. So even she is not sure, and she won't be happy till the time she sees Mbappe in the Real Madrid jersey. So obviously, even as United fans, we have seen that just link a certain player to a certain club just to get the clicks. So that's how it is all about. Somdeep is saying it will be difficult for Real even at home to stop the City juggernaut. I was going to come to this point. They wants to
yeah.
win CL and will be ruthless in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that in the past we have seen that Guardiola has overthought certain games, and that's why he has lost those games. But when we look at the way he started the last game, he
Correct.
had a certain plan he came about, and the reaction when Mahrez missed that third one, it was like someone robbed him, someone put him on the gunpoint, and he's like, "Come on, get out of here." So that shows basically how desperate he is to win the
Sure.
UCL with City. So, as a Madrid fan, are you fearful about the second leg? Because as a United fan, I am. I
Yeah.
don't want the All English final. It's like the nightmare of nightmares for a United fan. When because Liverpool is definitely going to the final. The only thing that's going to stop City is basically Madrid.
Yeah, yeah. And look, they have been, no matter what sort of team you, which team you support and whatnot, you have to sort of come out and say that these two teams have been playing some very good. They look ruthless. They are at the top of their form. Towards the lag end of the season, they have like their form has actually gotten better. It is insane. Liverpool are giving City a tough fight in the Premier League even. So that's the kind of, and they are both not dropping points, and they are both sort of going head to head in multiple competitions. So that tells you about the quality of the team and the form they are in. So as a Madridista, I'm definitely sort of concerned about that because they are on fire. City are on fire, and they have a very strong team. And I noticed like one thing, because the other times when I watch as a neutral, I'm not so clinical analytical because वो डर नहीं रहता है ना वो बाकी टाइम पे when they are not playing your team. So it
Yeah.
is all more like, oh, he good run and good finish and whatever. That's all you think about. But then here you think about how they function like one really well-oiled machine. बोलते हैं ना जिसको they are very clinical, and they run like a well-oiled machine, and they sort of and they have good quality players who can also sort of change the game, like a KDB and the kind of form they are in also. Mahrez and KDB and so many actually. They have like a
All right. I think there is some issue with Dhenuka's network. All right, guys. Sorry. She has just fallen out. I think there is some.
full
Yeah, your network is a bit, yeah,
Oh,
right. Now I can see you.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was just saying that I definitely every Madrid fan is going to be very aware of that fact. But there is also this thing. Look at the number of chances they sort of fluffed. Right? They could have killed it off. They could have killed Real Madrid off. They could have finished off the game, but they did. They missed. They were not very clinical in many chances. Their build-up was really good. Their link-up play was excellent, but they missed a lot of chances. And I put that down to that intimidation factor that comes with the UCL and with a team like Real Madrid. And Real Madrid is like the other end where if there is a lot of pressure, they will thrive. They'll be like, okay, let's go all out. And it's similar to like what happened with Chelsea, right? Like Chelsea had nothing to lose; they had to go all out, and that's what they did when they came to the Bernabeu. So again, here now Madrid is in that position. They can't afford to not go all out and sort of play a really good game, because that's the only way you're getting past City. They are not going to make a lot of mistakes. They are no You can't sort of hope that multiple players are going to have a bad game. That can't be wished for. They have to go out and give their 100%. But Madrid has done it before, so I do have the confidence that if there is a team that can do it, it is Real Madrid.
All the United fans are with you at this point of time. Basically, we will be glued to the TV and we will be like, come on, get the win, nothing else. Sanjay is asking Dhenuka that why Madrid didn't go for Haaland. His saga is obviously it's not finished yet. It's not
Hmm.
something that City has announced Haaland just
Yeah.
yet. But do you think that Madrid is missing a trick because they can get a striker for the next 7 8 years? And
Sure.
how good we all know how good Benzema is, but then you look at the age and you will need that
Correct.
replacement. The
Correct.
players which you have right now, apart
Hmm.
from Benzema, is not even 10% of Benzema. You
Sure.
have Diaz, who can just come in, he's just like a statue on the field when you look at what Benzema does and what Diaz does. And we we have seen that without Benzema, how one-sided the game of Real Madrid is.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Perez missing a trick by not going for Haaland?
Yeah, but the Haaland situation is very tricky also, because this is assuming that we get Mbappe, right? Uh, how do you play Mbappe and Haaland? No, and I'm not talking about like the ego issue and the who is the bigger superstar angle. I'm literally talking about the team functioning as a team, where they play and how they play. So it's as it is. I think it'll be a little tricky with Mbappe coming in, because he also prefers to sort of play on the left, or um, uh,
As a
rather than the right. But then Vinicius this season has been a revelation, and you can't sort of put him, and Vinicius can't play on the right. We have seen that Zidane has tried that with disastrous results. So Vinicius can't play on the right. Rodrigo is much more effective on the left, because if you saw the game against Sevilla that we in La Liga, he played on the left because Vinicius didn't start and didn't come on until it was really late. So when Rodrigo plays on the left, he plays a very different game, because that's his preferred side as well. So we have a lot of like issues anywhere in that arena, but Mbappe can play on the right, and that is a big advantage. And I personally think that going forward in the years to come, because players also evolve. Cristiano Ronaldo, the way he started as a winger, was not the kind of role he played at Madrid. It evolved over the years, and he became more like he started coming in the middle, and then he changed sort of his positioning, and his play evolved, his position evolved. So I see a similar thing happening with Mbappe. He might play more as a center forward once, say, Benzema is done, and if that is the case, so that is one aspect. So I think that is a possible situation that Real is also looking at, saying that the evolution of Mbappe as a center forward at some point. The other thing is, if you get Haaland now, Haaland is not the kind of player who would want to start on the bench, who would want to be on the bench. He has to start, and if he starts, then again it is going to be, you're going to sort of have to shuffle. He will not fit in naturally in this team. which I suppose they could do as well. And what I've been hearing, another interesting theory, these are all rumors, of course, but what I've been hearing is the injury concerns as well, because he is, as they say, a generational player, but he has also suffered a lot of injuries, and it
Knee
has
injuries,
been
basically.
many injuries. And I think I heard that Real Madrid is really skeptical about going for a player with, like, an injury prone player, after what happened with our two big signings, sort of the decline of Bale at Real Madrid, and then Hazard at Real Madrid, basically. So
All
that
right.
might be
So,
another factor they were not pushing for Haaland.
all right. So, as I said, it's nothing sure yet, and we never know. We always say in football, you never know, especially with the transfers. So, Celia's question is simple: Madrid will be La Liga champions before the City match. Pro or con?
I think it's a pro, because especially in the game that we play, against Osasuna, the next league game that we play, we are likely going to rest everyone who's going to play against City, because at this point, the Champions League matters more, because the league is sort of in the bag. Or the league is in the bag, and I think more than anticipating a guard of honor or a pasillo from Atletico Madrid at Wanda, I think it is more important that we go ahead in the Champions League. So Carlo will likely rest most of his players who will start against City for the much needed break, and we can afford to do that only because the league is in the bag. So I would say definitely approve.
Yeah, so basically, when Madrid plays against City, City fans are supporting City fans, and Liverpool fans are basically supporting City fans because obviously they want a Madrid team in the final. They have seen what they have done to them in the past. Obviously, it's a totally different Liverpool side at this point of time, but that mental, you can say, that mental trauma, you can say, from the past, where your best player gets injured in the final and you lose the game. So obviously that's there. Ajay says
So
Mbappe is the here, yeah,
yeah, no, I was
heir
just
to
gonna say
Ballon
I
d'Or.
have friends who are Liverpool fans. I have many many friends who are Liverpool fans, and they are all looking forward to a Real Madrid Liverpool final, because because they have played City multiple times now, right? It is like the Athletic Bilbao versus Madrid. I think Real Madrid this time around. Every draw, every tournament, everywhere we are playing like Bilbao. So I think it is something similar with City. First of all, secondly, they will want that sort of revenge with what happened in the final, in the 2018 Champions League final, where they lost to Madrid, and also the last time around, also they lost to us. In the Champions League, right? Before we eventually lost to Chelsea, but Liverpool lost to Real. So they might want to get that revenge in, and so my friends who are Liverpool fans are all looking forward to a Real Madrid Liverpool
And
final.
I'm all up for Real Madrid supremacy in the Champions League this time. Go for the 14th title. I don't care. Just stop those two from winning the title.
I wonder why.
All right. So next question: future of Ancelotti. I think when we look at from outside the things he has done with Real Madrid, I think he
Yeah.
has done a wonderful job.
Mhm.
I don't think how you can just sack Ancelotti based on the season he has had. He's already La Liga, got the La Liga in the bag. One game you might, if Real Madrid shows up at the Bernabeu, it's going to be Real Madrid. We all know that, because it's that big pressure, the handling of situation. Real Madrid has done it time and time again, and we have seen City faltering time and time again. So, future of Ancelotti for me should be secure unless or until you are getting Zidane back. I think if you are sacking Carlo or someone like Poch at this point of time, I think that doesn't make any sense.
Right. I, I see there are two aspects to this. So what we are seeing today is completely different, because Real is in the semis, and we've advanced to the Champions League, the stage where we have gotten at, and also we have the league, La Liga in the back. But the conversation was very different after, say, the winter break, as we headed into January, February, and with sort of, I look at the Clasico as like a, one-off game where the, like Real Madrid got this drubbing from Barca, and but I think that Carlo has been, Real looked at him as like a stopgap alternative because Zidane kind of left Real in a lurch. That came out of sort of nowhere, and he just left, and Perez had to make like this immediate signing that would not antagonize everyone. And this is coming off of two coaches who failed before Zidane. We had. What I would call like a nightmarish situation with both Julian Lopetegui and Santiago Solari. So, and after that, Zidane kind of came and steadied the boat, and immediately going for another manager who, without any kind of when you're so short pressed for time because every other manager has been lapped up by the other club, so by another club. So I think Carlo was like a stopgap option because he was a safe choice. He was one of the managers who he shares an excellent rapport with everyone. He is loved by all the players. He has the board's sort of he has Perez's goodwill. He's a guy who was an excellent man manager. He was a very safe choice. He left. He was sacked despite winning, and so he was like a safe choice, I think, for Perez. And I don't know what the board was trying to do after that, of course. But there was a point where Carlo was really sort of, he was not making any rotations. He was making the players sort of play all of the old guard, sort of, the people who are in their 30s, well into their 30s. You're making them play 90 plus minutes every game. The fatigue factor is definitely going to settle in. Just to get that lead, was it a safe choice? Because suddenly after the winter break, you saw that Madrid went into a bit of a lull, and you could see the exhaustion in the players. Even with Vinicius, we got the team got hit by COVID, and which happened with everyone, of course. But the difference here being that Carlo believed in this whole point where, unless a player tells me he's not fit, he's playing. And if I think that player is fit, he's playing. Starting a not very fit Benzema in a game or two, these things kind of they baffle you, because and his stubbornness to start Asensio on the right, even when he was not having multiple games, not starting Fede early on, not giving Fede Valverde a chance or a Camavinga a chance, and then despite having players like Ceballos and all of these people on the bench as well, your Hazard, and when he was fit, not making rotations, and all of these things were baffling at that point. But see, now it's the tide has changed. I don't know what has happened. He is doing all the right things. So it is very difficult at this point to say that, oh, Carlo is not doing this correct, because he's doing now, right now he's doing the best with the team he has. So I think somewhere even the management and the board would have sort of changed their thinking to what the possibility of sort of renewing Carlo is going to be. But yeah, it's not been a consistent thing, is what I'm trying to say with Carlo, and that would be justified too. But right now, I think he's doing everything right. And the other thing in the matter of Carlo is, if not him, who are you going to sign? There is no one, right? And that works in, I think, the favor of retaining Carlo as well, because at least that stability factor is there, and he is making all the sort of right
Yeah,
choices now.
that's what I said as well. That if you are replacing Carlo Ancelotti with someone like Pochettino, who has struggled
Yeah.
time and time again to produce results in the bigger games, he is not able to handle the egos, you can say, at PSG, and then he will be coming to Madrid. Obviously, when you go to the bigger clubs, the pressure is absolutely immense. And if you are
Yeah.
failing to deliver with someone like PSG, they were outright favorites basically again in the
Sure.
Champions League. Even against you, 2-0 up, and then you lose in like, that fashion where you concede
Yeah.
3 goals, without any pressure, without any sort of, you know, when you look at it, it's 2-0 and it's 3-2. So that shows basically that you are not just there as a manager as well. Because after Madrid scored the third goal, Poch ka face was basically, it's over. And still game
Yeah,
mein,
he looked like he'd given up.
yeah, exactly. And us game mein it's like still 15 to 18 minutes to go,
Sure.
and he is
Yeah.
like, it's done. अब क्या करूँ मैं? He is like looking for answers from others. So, all right, moving on to the
Agree.
next one. We have comments coming in about, I love Real Madrid because they have taken Rudiger from Chelsea. So obviously, as United fans, we are very happy that, Christensen has gone to Barcelona, Rudiger has gone to Real Madrid. So now we are just like, whoever you are getting, you will have to go along again a process before they settle in. पर चेल्सी के साथ हमने देखा उनके साथ चीजें बहुत जल्दी सेटल हो जाती है, regardless of whoever they brings. दे आर जस्ट किसी को भी लेके उनके सिस्टम में वो बंदा फिट बैठ जाता है. So
Correct.
getting on to the next one, Ashwin is asking, has Carlo changed since the sack game? As we were talking about, he is now doing all the right things.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't know whether it's the sack claims or I don't think he is uh, that green a manager. वो नए मैनेजर तो नहीं है यार जो ऐसे मतलब उनको ये सब क्लेम से उनको जो फर्क पड़ेगा and suddenly he'll change his tune. But something has happened and I don't know. Especially I think it's weird because I think post COVID, after he got COVID, he's not given us a chance to complain. I think at least with his team selections and what's going on with the rotations and benching the players when they need a break and bringing all the right people on and making really good substitutions. So of course, like there are those off things where you were like, I thought that Kamavinga could have come on a little early last isme, and he didn't. Uh, yeah, but those are just like off things. But I don't think it was because of the claims. But I'm just glad whatever be the reason, jo bhi manna hai maan lo. But I'm just glad that he's making the right choices now. I think.
So Griffin says, I'm Madrid fan. I fear Man City. Once Real get past them, no one can stop them. Beat Liverpool or Villarreal. I think Villarreal is not even in the conversation. 2-0
I
se
don't
वापस
think he.
आना. Yeah, I don't think they're in the conversation. But as he's saying, no one can stop them. Liverpool is a totally different gravy at this point of time. Whatever they are trying to do on the pitch, it's working. Whether it's Origi, whether it's Diaz,
Yep.
whether it's Konate, matlab, they are rotating
उनका
well, and
depth
all
यार.
those rotations, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and all those rotations are working. मतलब एक
Yes.
गेम में अगर हेंडरसन नहीं है
Most
तो
important.
you can bring in someone like Keita and he is working. In one game you can just simply bench Thiago for rest, and you can play someone like Keita alongside Fabinho and Henderson. So rotation is going
Yes.
along really nicely, and then you look at their front three. So it's as dynamic as any team in this world
Right.
football at this point
And
of time.
and I think at this point, all their forwards are working. So
Yeah,
if you were saying that there was a time like a few games where Salah was off or say Mane was off, now it's not the case. Now everyone is clicking, wahan pe bhi. And and I thought that Villarreal were really sort of disciplined and very organized defensively when they played against Liverpool, and still Liverpool sort of found those goals. They found two goals, which was and I thought that Villarreal actually I sort of saw that coming. Their strategy would be to sort of sit back and attack on the counter. And granted, they were missing Moreno, but the Morenos. But even so, I think they were defensively organized, and still Liverpool managed to get past them and score two goals. So that says something about the form Liverpool are in right now, and unka squad depth is also excellent, and all of their players are firing, like be it Diaz or be it Mane, Salah, and Firmino. All of them, I think, this time around.
and I think
Jota.
they will be buoyed. They will be buoyed by the announcement of Klopp for another 2 years as well. Recently signed a new
Yeah, the
contract.
extension. Yeah,
Yeah. So as a United fan, obviously it's a nightmare scenario. We wanted him gone. We wanted Pep gone. But Pep situation, we all know that it's not clear. He might move for some other team. If especially if he wins the Champions League. If he is not winning the Champions League, he might stay. So we will have to see with that. And this person, this is like Carlo went from Everton to UCL semi. For someone following La Liga, what seems to be the problem with EPL teams? Same coach can't produce such extreme results in the same season. I think when we look, it's not even comparable. I don't know why Ancelotti went to Everton. I could never understand. But when you look at the pedigree, the team that
Hmm.
Real Madrid has obviously, and the team that Everton got, there is no comparison. So I think he is finally doing his talent justice, and he's finally doing the Real Madrid squad that they have justice. Apart from one or two positions, as Akshat said, that they need two or three signings, to get along in the next season.
And I also think, look, everyone knows like Carlo is a great manager. For a person to actually win like all major European leagues, it's not a joke. I'm guessing that La Liga is in the bag, so also La Liga. But he has won. He's the only manager, right, to have won like all the five leagues. So he's definitely, no, there's no question that he's not one of the best managers of all time. I would
Yeah.
definitely say that. uh, and yes, this issue of Madrid needing two or three signings, right, this has, as a Real Madrid fan, I can tell you at least since 2000 uh, or 98 2000, this has always been the case. This has always been the case where you want like all those signings and the board just doesn't go for those signings, and you keep thinking यार बस एक ये हो जाता ना, यार बस एक यहाँ पे एक हो जाता ना हम लोग का मतलब. For the longest time our defense was a problem, and now where the defense has gotten sorted, like the midfield used to be a problem beach mein. So every time it's one of those things. And I would also like to say for Carlo and Everton, the difference is also in the players. Look at the players that Carlo worked with at Everton, and look at the players he's working with at Real. Let's be honest, a lot of the reason why Real Madrid has is in the semis of the championship of the Champions League is, the reason for that is individual brilliance. If there was no Modric, if there was no Benzema, if there were these individual brilliant, like if Vinny didn't make that run, and if he was not in the form of that he's in the current season, these individual brilliances and that finish from Rodrigo where he didn't sort of fall apart, and Camavinga and Fede Valverde making all the difference. So if you didn't have these individually brilliant players, especially Benzema, and secondly I would like to say Modric and Courtois, it would have been a completely different result in the league and in the Champions League as well, in La Liga as well as in Champions League. So you have to also take that into account, that individual brilliance of the players he's working with.
All right. So Manas said the only threat to Decimo Purata is City.
Yeah. Okay. I would say that this has been, if Real does go through, this has been quite a run to the finals, and there's no contest that this was probably the one of the toughest paths to the final, or winning, if we do end up winning. Because yeah, I would say from the, okay, you can sort of discount Inter Milan, but going past that, PSG, and then Chelsea, and then Man City, and then if we go past this, Liverpool. I mean, it's been quite a run if that happens. But I would not discount Liverpool either. But yeah,
Exactly
both
right.
both City, like we mentioned just now.
Like as you mentioned as well that they are going toe to toe. They are working as well-oiled machines. So किसी को भी underestimate करना, especially in Champions League, can be fatal. Whether you are Real Madrid, whether you are any team. सामने वाले को look at Bayern Munich. They paid the ultimate price. Even in the 90th minute, they were like, हम 30 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा नहीं खेलेंगे भाई, हम अभी ही गोल मार देते हैं. And they
Right.
put everyone forward, and they got hit on a counter.
Correct.
So that basically shows that in Champions League everything is possible. Chris is saying that it's quite ballsy to say, but King Unai can pull off the ultimate magic. I would disagree, to be honest. You know, like two goals. If it was one, I could have even given it a thought that it might go into extra time. One goal here or there. In football, one goal is nothing, but two goals, and that too against this Liverpool team. It's not like they are going to stop. They will hit you.
Yeah.
The more space you will give them, they will hit you. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I think that the next one is going to be so their tactic, Villarreal's tactic in the previous match would obviously be, sort of sitting back and then trying to score on the counter because they were playing at Anfield, and because Liverpool would go all out and attack, and for them to have even a realistic chance, they would have to minimize Liverpool scoring. So I did predict that they would sort of, and they are very good defensively, Villarreal. So I expected them to do that, and that's what they did. But that's what I'm saying, that Liverpool still found two goals. So that also tells you how good, and Liverpool wins back possession so quickly, so easily. They won back the possession from Villarreal at any point. Villarreal didn't look threatening at all in the attack. So there was no time when you were thinking, "Oh my God, now these guys are definitely going to score." It would have been a free sort of goal on the counter, and that would have just been it, because they didn't they Liverpool was good enough that they didn't make Villarreal look threatening. लेकिन अब जो होगा ना, in the second leg, see, they have to go out and attack. Villarreal has to go all out and attack. It's going to be a way more open game. Here the thing is that Liverpool has players, in good players, who are clicking in all positions. They are good offensively. They are good defensively. They have a good working midfield also. So when the game is more open, if Villarreal score, so are Liverpool, because they will make it open to Liverpool scoring also. So it's very different. It's very sort of difficult now for Villarreal to attack like crazy. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. I totally agree
Exactly.
with Somdeep. Yeah, so it's a very very tough chance. The only thing is it's the UCL, and never say never. Who knows what happens? It can be a freak game, but as far as predictions go, or how the trends go, I would not see, like, it would be very difficult for Villarreal to go forward.
All right. So hello, Martin. Welcome to the stream. And Griffin says, if Real win UCL, it will be established that not every time you need an intimidating team to win UCL. I don't think it was ever a factor. That intimidation. That when you
Yeah,
go, you have to get the win, regardless of whoever you are playing. We have seen how many shock results have come across UCL in the last few seasons. Leon knocking out, the likes of Man City, even before that, like 10 years back, 15 years back. We have seen lot of big comebacks. Even against PSG United, 2-0 down, going to France and then getting the win. So I don't think it's the intimidation. Obviously, how you perform during the course of 180 minutes, that's what defines the game, according to me.
yeah, and also, like, Real Madrid is intimidating in its own way, because they bring
Exactly.
with them that that mentality, champions mentality in the Championship League, call it whatever you want, that sort of, that brutal mentality where they can destroy you with the game, not with anything else. So yeah, so that is intimidation of a different kind. But I guess what you're trying to say is, like, a team that just said, like City, which just powers through. You're kind of hinting at that. So yeah, and also, like, it's very different in the Champions League, because it's not unlike your Premier League or La Liga, and unlike your domestic league. Um, it's not played over that period of time, right? It's that one game, and how you play in that one game or two games in the case of like all the build up to the final. It's decided on the basis of those games. So even if you perform badly, so take the case of Villarreal, they might go for a draw in multiple games in the league, but when it mattered against Bayern Munich, they pulled all the stops. So it's the Champions League, right? So yeah, so definitely that's a factor as well.
All right, so Ashwin has come up with a good news for United fans. Off topic, but breaking news. Matt Judge, obviously, he has to go. He has been a disaster for United, in terms of doing the transfer. So thank God he's gone. And Rangnick has taken a job of Austria. So he will be here as well. He will be managing the Austrian team as well. Let's see how he does with both the things. And next question. So basically, Nico is asking Carvajal and Militao, biggest weakness for Madrid.
Hmm, I would Militao in his current form, yes, for sure. But yeah, and I don't know what is going on with Militao, because he was not like this in the, like I kept saying, I've said multiple times on this stream, he was not like this. He has had fantastic games for Real this season. So, but based on his current form, yes, Militao is definitely a worry. And with Carvajal, uh, like he can be, you can't write him off, but he needs support on the right for sure. Like he's not. He if he has an off game, he has an off game, and you are, then there's nothing you can do. Then the right side is dead, sort of, and any team can take advantage of that fact. So any team can sort of exploit that fact. So I would agree that Carvajal and Militao are, more than weaknesses, I would say they are the biggest concerns. Like them not performing well are the
Yeah, even
biggest
in the
concerns.
first leg, when we look at the first goal that was scored, yeah, Carvajal actually was sleeping. He was
Yes.
sleepwalking. Like literally, KDB walked in front of him, and he couldn't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
get
yeah,
the header. Or obviously, if would have pulled down KDB, it was a penalty. So obviously, that was a
yes,
good thing that he didn't do. But you have to get that awareness that this City team basically attack in numbers. So the
yeah,
ball when ricochets from anyone's shoulder or from anyone's head, there's always one guy who's there to pick it up. Whether it's Silva, whether it's KDB, whether it's anyone else, they play in a totally different way, totally different manner. So you cannot give
yeah,
so much space to guys like Bernardo Silva or KDB, because they are midfielders, but they score goals. Simple as that. They are goal
yeah.
scoring midfielders. It's not like they are defensive midfielders, so they can score
Correct.
from anywhere.
Sure.
And that's what
Yeah.
baffled me, that you are playing for such a long time. You are basically, at one point of time, you were one of the best right backs, without a doubt. Carvajal of two
Yeah.
or three seasons back, my God,
Sure. Sure.
the way he used
Yeah.
to run those flanks, it was basically like if he's starting to run, just sit back and just enjoy the game. Simple as that. You know.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's what baffled me. And obviously, we have talked about, yeah, Cancelo is definitely playing. Cancelo is
Yes.
definitely playing, and we
He
are
was
hearing a
suspended.
lot.
He was not injured,
Yes,
so he will play definitely.
exactly. Dhenuka, we are hearing a lot of shout for Benzema for Ballon d'Or. Definitely my choice now that Bayern Munich is out. So obviously you are a Real Madrid fan. You know, yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that smile. The moment I take Karim Benzema's name, you are like, all right, he is going to win us the 40th Champions League.
Yeah. And look, to me, I think Benzema has had a phenomenal season, phenomenal. And that's not to say like Mo Salah or Lewandowski have not had a great season. But to me, especially as a Madridista, when I have seen him uh, in the games he has played for Real, the where Real would be without Benzema versus where anyone else contending for this Ballon d'Or would be without that particular player in the team. If you see, it's a very clear choice. Real Madrid struggles without Benzema, and to pull the kind of the hat tricks against, he is pulled hat tricks against PSG, against Chelsea, and that goal in the second leg against Chelsea. These were goals that basically kept us alive in the competition. They pulled us back into the competition. They Otherwise Real Madrid would not be here. And I can tell you that 100%. It was, you can harp about it being a team sport, but if it was not for Benzema's individual brilliance and the kind of form he's in, Real Madrid would not be here in the league or in the Champions League. And given that we are winning La Liga, and I would say that he's been the difference maker for this team, and that alone, I think, all the stats and the the goals and the assists ka stats aside, keeping all that aside, his contribution to the team and where the team would be without him being in the team and showing up every single game and pulling the team out of trouble. I mean, yeah, I don't even know what more to say. He's had. I don't know if he can top this season, like as an individual, like a player. I don't know if he'll be able to top the performance that he's had this season, because it's just been whatever he touches turns to gold. It's that kind of a season for Benzema. So I would say, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. For me, it will be that him winning the Ballon d'Or.
I think the closest that competition that Benzema is going to face is going to come from Mohamed Salah. If he is winning, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
लिवरपूल एक ऐसे ट्रेंड पे अभी basically where they can end up winning 4 trophies,
Correct.
and
The
basically I
quadruple
will
which has
hide,
not
and
been done.
I won't be able to show my face on social media for the next decade. So either they are going to win those 4 trophies, or they just might end up with just the Carabao Cup. It's that kind of season, because for them every game is a knockout.
Mhm.
Every game you have to play against Chelsea defense. Obviously,
Yes.
they don't have the goals of Liverpool, but defensively they are solid. They have shown that midfield is working for them as well. It's the attacking part that's concerning. But the FA Cup, the final, you take it to the penalties, anything can happen. Same, I am taking, basically I'm not even thinking about the second leg. अगर लिवरपूल की गेम की बात करें तो I'm already considering कि भाई वो फाइनल में है. ठीक है, यहाँ पे PL के अंदर they are behind by 1 point, and the way City plays, that 1 point that might be a difference for the second time in as many as 3 or 4 years. So 4 trophies or might just end up with one. So going on to the next one, yeah, Benzema's assist. So he scored 2 years, against Atletico was legendary stuff. Obviously we love to see those kind of things. And as United fans, we have been, when we talk about the United versus Real Madrid game, many call it like, robbery of the decade. So that has happened in the past when Nani was shown the red card. So that's a part and parcel of the game. Many will agree, many won't agree. But as I said, that going into the second leg, Dhenuka, like your prediction, as a Madrid fan, what changes do you want to see?
In the second leg,
Yeah,
okay, I see that's the thing. We don't have players to make tactical decisions at this point. Carlos stuck with this team. So with Casemiro back, it's going to be. I think Alaba is missing the second leg, if I'm not wrong. So I don't think Alaba is playing. So we have Mendy on the left, and who else? Mendy, Militao,
I think
Carvajal, of course,
Nacho will come in
and
there.
Nacho
Nacho,
will play. Yeah,
yeah.
Nacho will play. So either yeah. So I don't know where he'll go, CB or LB, but mostly it will be CB with Militao, and that worries me. That really worries me. That pairing, especially when Militao is not in good form, because it's two of your CBs who are like very vulnerable. So, but it is what it is. We don't have any other prospects even for any of the other places. So the other, if Carvajal has an off game, then it is Lucas Vasquez as our sort of backup, which again defensively is going to be another nightmare. And so changes wise, I only think Casemiro is going to come in, and that will be a huge help. I want Valverde definitely because he offers the much needed assistance to Carvajal on the right. Otherwise, Carvajal is really uh, sort of exposed. And I think that I still personally feel that Camavinga is still more effective when he's brought on as a super sub. Uh, so I would still go with not starting Camavinga. I know this is a very contentious decision. Many people want Camavinga to start, and maybe I would also want to see Valverde start ahead of Rodrigo, because last time around I thought, okay, let's take advantage of the fact that Rodrigo on the right can give you pace,
Yeah.
and then if you have that intensity going forward, if you score, then there's nothing like it. You have Vinicius on the left, Rodrigo on the right. Your one side is not dead. But I think that did not work as planned at all, and we need like defensive bolstering. So Valverde in the position he played that day was also not very effective, I think, and you could see after the introduction of Camavinga, things sort of settled a little bit because everyone went back to playing in their natural position. So I would personally like to see a similar lineup to what we did against Chelsea. So I would say Valverde up front on the right so that he can run up and down and give cover to sort of not sort of provide support to Carvajal, and then bring on Rodrigo and bring on Camavinga as super subs. because if you don't have those two, then you have no plan after that.
exactly.
And Ceballos seems to be in decent form as well, so he is an alternative for subbing off if one of the mids doesn't work out well. And yeah, he was decent as well. So I would think that again him as a substitute. But yeah, that would be my
Yeah,
the
like
changes I would make.
when we talk about Casemiro, that basically also gives the likes of Modric and
Yeah.
Cruz to venture forward a bit more. Like in the previous game, Cruz was basically tied up, in the midfield. He was trying to see that if players get past him, there is no cover, behind. So
Look, and I think a lot of it is he got a lot of flack, Cruz, for his game, and the fact that he didn't he was sort of snoozing and whatnot. But you have to understand that you're asking him to suddenly play in a position that he has not been playing in, and even
exactly.
long back with, I think, which coach was it? I think it was with Lopetegui or someone. He outright said, "I'm not Casemiro. Don't expect me to do that, right?" So and he has never been that. So if you're going to play him in that position, you cannot expect he's not a defensive midfielder, so he cannot. You want Kroos to be high up, not have him play in like a low block and have him play as a DM, because he doesn't work like that. Even in a double pivot, he won't work. So if you want to do that, like, you could maybe try that with a Camavinga or a Fede Valverde, and maybe like or Camavinga or Fede, along with Modric, who is more who can provide a bit more defensively, but not with Kroos. So I think his positioning was the biggest problem, and of course he slowed down with age. He has slowed down a bit, but even so, by playing him in his natural position, he's still a world class player. So I would sort of blame that as well, his positioning as well. You cannot expect him to play like a Casemiro. That's just, you're wasting Cruz there, I think, if you do that.
All right. So, Luis, think the overthinking of Pep plus Real Madrid's experience and mentality will take Real Madrid to the final. Me and Dhenuka and millions of United fans and Madrid fans are hoping for the same.
Let's hope so.
So, yeah, exactly. So, Dhenuka, we will get along with the combined 11, and then obviously we have been on the stream for a while, so we will finish it off with the combined 11. I will just put up the sharing part where I was starting to get along with the. So we will be first of all, we always take the audience poll basically when we make the combined 11. I always do that. So first of all,
Yes, that'll be
we
fun.
are going yeah, we are going to start with the keeper. Guys, for the keeper part. All right, so we have one more comment. Defensively, Real Madrid cannot match, let Man
Sure.
City score early at any cost. Obviously, they cannot. If that
Yes.
happens,
Yeah.
that would be a huge trouble. So, all right.
Yeah.
I think I will be definitely going with Courtois as a keeper. Even being as
Courtois
a
for sure.
neutral. Yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
and
So
in fact,
keeper.
I thought that Ederson was one of the sort of weak links for me for City, even on that day, because
Yeah.
yeah. So you, like, I don't know, maybe I said that even in the first leg. Hope that Benzema forces something out of him.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
All right. So keeper is like a
Good.
no-brainer. We will go with. Sometimes it's so difficult, to make the teams. All right.
Yeah.
We are going with Courtois. All right. Yeah. So left back.
Oh, this
All
has
right.
to
We
be
have a
Cancelo
Courtois
for me.
Yeah. I think many are going to relate.
Cancelo, I think, as the left back. He's back this time. So
Yeah, he is back. And that's my worst nightmare, to be honest. Cancelo and Walker. I think these two guys are the worst nightmare. So he is back. So definitely on the left hand side, we are going to go with. All right, it was number two. On the left, Cancelo. On the right, Denuka.
uh, who are you going to go with?
To be honest,
I
I am going with Walker.
Obviously.
You know, as long as
So
much
Walker
I
is
like.
fit, right? Walker
Yeah,
is
he is.
100. Okay.
He is fit. As much I love to see, Carvajal
Carvajal.
coming up with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
goal.
No, no,
He's
it's
not
a
up there yet.
no-brainer. Walker is, yeah, Walker going by current
Yeah.
form and whatnot, of course Walker.
All right. So center
I
backs are going
wasn't
to be.
sure if he was 100% though, but you're saying that he is, so
Yeah, he is. He will
he
be
will.
back.
Okay.
If he's not, then obviously. But at this point of time, he is fit. So let's see how that goes. As the center back pairing, we take you know both the center backs at once.
Okay. Exams just finished here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have fans from all age groups, so that's a great thing to see.
Right. Okay. I would take Alaba. Um,
Yeah.
but Alaba is not there.
No,
He's
it's
not
not there.
playing. He's not playing. Oh, God. I don't know. I would, as a Madrid fan, I'm really like conflicted because like, Militao could be good, but the form he's in right now, he's just been horrendous with the last game. So let's go with an all city. Yeah, let's go with an all
Yeah.
city
Yeah.
backline.
Looks like it. We will
Yeah,
go with Diaz and
yeah.
Laporte. It
And
seems.
that's the thing with Alaba, I could make out
Yeah.
from the way he was defending. I knew he was not 100% fit, which
Exactly.
was so
The
sad.
mistakes that he made, usually, he barely makes any mistakes when he's playing like that.
Correct. Yeah.
And for the
The,
second goal, the goal that Jesus scored, he was basically rattled. He was like,
yes.
what
Yes.
to
He
do, what to
doesn't
do.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. So, all right, in the
Yeah. Nacho
midfield,
starting. Yeah.
yeah, Nacho. Yeah, his name is Ishan. So he is saying basically, Nacho starting album won't make it back in time. Yeah, exactly. We
Correct.
know that, Ishan. So we are just making a combined team. So that's why we are going with all back for City. Keeper is Courtois, and then we have the midfield. We will take three names back to back. Then you go with your midfield three, and then I will go with my midfield three.
Okay. I'll say hmm, Modric, KDB, and let's go with one more from City only. Because who do I pick from City? Who do I put where on the right up and right?
I think my midfield three would
Mares.
be
Oh,
my
but
midfield
Mares.
three. Yeah,
Sorry.
my midfield three would be Casemiro, KDB, and Modric.
Okay.
Yeah, like I am going with Casemiro. You know, we have Bernardo Silva, we have Rodri, we have so many midfield
There are
options.
so many. That's the thing. The midfield is the
Stacked.
like full. Oh yeah, it's stacked. It has
Yeah.
like lots and lots of options. So
All right. So it is going to be
so
very
if
very
you're going to
controversial.
be yeah. So if it's going to be so we are going with 4-4-2. Oh okay. Sorry,
No,
I
we
thought it
can go
was a
with
four
only
three
we
three.
can go with 4-3-3. It just it was showing up there. I didn't change
No,
the
if it
formation
is okay.
because two
So
strikers we don't have. Two strikers. Benzema
yeah,
is going to be as the lone striker.
lone striker. Correct.
I will go with four
So
three three basically.
okay.
It seems much better.
Okay, so then if that is if we have a DM, then I'll go with Casemiro as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but then I have to choose between. Okay, then there is. Oh, come on. Then I'll have to. Who do I have? I definitely want KDB, but I also want Silva is also really good. Uh,
I think Modric we should definitely take.
Modric
There's no.
definitely.
Yeah.
Modric definitely. No, I'm wondering about like repositioning. Like, whom do I reposition in the two? I'm thinking, but I also want Vinicius and Benzema. Arey yaar, this is so tough.
Yeah.
Uh,
All
gotta
right,
do.
we are getting all sort of comments. Silva, Vinicius, Modric, KDB, Mahrez. We have, as I said, so many options.
Hmm.
I think midfield, Modric, and I think it's going to be KDB, and then we will look at the two
Yeah,
wingers and the striker. So
yeah,
KDB is definitely up there. You
for
cannot,
sure. KDB with
KDB can,
everyone's choice. Yeah,
KDB
KDB I
is,
think will be in everyone's thing.
yeah, he is
I agree.
basically irreplaceable.
Yeah.
KDB and as a striker, we all know we are going with. It's a no-brainer. We don't even have to talk about it. It's like Benzema, you know. Now we have on the left and on the right wing. Now the two wingers.
Okay. I would put Vinny on the left.
Me too.
because yeah. And then right पे तो है यार बाकी I don't know. Let's put Mahrez. Whom are you going? I don't know whom to put on the
Like
right.
on the right, KDB
For
is a free.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
Foden is someone who is
Foden.
playing.
Yeah. Okay. Who who can play over there? I guess right wing. Enough. I don't know. Foden only. I guess.
Yeah, we should go with Foden. Like, Mahrez
Foden.
is playing, Mahrez has played and he has been good for them, but in the Premier League mostly. When you look at the
In the
Champions
clutch
League,
moments, you don't know.
yeah,
That's the thing. Because
yeah,
I
exactly.
actually was very afraid of Mahrez that day. But I
Yeah,
thought he was looking a little rattled. Whereas Foden, on the other hand, actually looked more
yeah.
sort of convincing. So,
I am
so
going, all
then
right, so Vinny and we are
Foden.
going with Foden. So this is the combined 11 that we have gone with. And Mahrez costed City a comfortable victory. I think that's the comment of the day.
Yeah, I
If
guess so.
he's
And that's probably the only yeah. And I don't know. I'm chalking it up to that, UCL pressure and that clutch moment wala thing. But otherwise he's a really good player too. And we don't even have Bernardo Silva in this lineup. If so, you can imagine like what kind of a uh, yeah.
exactly. That midfield, it's very, very tough to take out. Like, you can talk about, you cannot just take out KDB and Modric. Simple as that. The one thing you can do is like putting, few people will put in Rodri in place of Casemiro, but that's,
Hmm.
a 50-50.
No,
But those two
I would
names,
go with Casemiro. Yeah.
yeah, like, based on the performance he has put, and, Rodri has played safe, but Casemiro, you
Correct.
also see that, forward runs as well with Casemiro. So on this note, as I said, you are short on time a bit, Dhenuka. So we have
Uh,
already been going for a long time.
no worries. I
This
can't.
is a nice one as well.
Okay.
Why Benzema? Why
You,
not Grealish?
Somdeep, you tell us why Benzema and not Grealish. We went on and on for a long time about the Ballon d'Or thing. So, do you think Grealish should be up for the Ballon d'Or? So yeah,
The way
just kidding.
these days are, the way these days these trophies are handed. I won't be
You
surprised.
never know.
You never
I know.
know.
Actually, yeah, that's my thing. I actually don't really care about this Ballon d'Or thing because
Me too. Never
yeah.
cared.
So
People is like, this is the ultimate trophy and all that. I have been like, players have been robbed,
yeah,
in
exactly.
front of
Agree.
everyone of Ballon d'Ors. And
Yeah.
now a voting. I don't know whether you have
Now
seen it.
especially it's become like such a
Exactly.
PR stunt, PR driven thing
अपने
that it's
मीडिया
just
के फैंस को अपने मीडिया के जो फैंस हैं उनको डाल दो वोटिंग पैनल में एंड दे विल डिसाइड हु इज गोइंग टू बी द बैलेंट डॉर. तो
agree.
उस चीज पे क्या ही बोल सकते हैं. माना भी सिंह लेवा एंटर्स चैट.
Yeah, seriously, I think it was so like unfair to Lewandowski.
Exactly. Like, if why did you cancel it at first? मतलब कोई
Exactly.
लॉजिक.
What is the point? Everything else on this planet was done virtually. How
Exactly.
the matches were being played after that? How can you? This is not some ceremony that has to be done in person. Every
Exactly.
other ceremony, everything else happened virtually. Why would you cancel this award and take this away
मतलब तुम
from a
उसको
guy? And it was so clear he was going to win it.
एग्जैक्टली तुम
It
उसको
is
बाद
just
में दे देते यार.
lovely.
उसको वहां पे खड़े
Oi,
करके तुम्हें थोड़ी देना था. तुम उसको मेज
हाँ,
तुम कुछ भी करते. वो जब अगला
virtual
गेम खेलते
ceremony
तुम
रख
उसको
देते हैं. I'm
कुछ
sure
भी.
वही वो आ जाते लोग
एग्जैक्टली. अगर
virtually.
तुम चलो सेरेमनी नहीं रख रहे, इट्स फाइन, इट्स टोटली फाइन, यू आर नॉट पुटिंग अप अ सेरेमनी. तुम वो जब अगला गेम खेल रहा है अपने होम स्टेडियम में, भाई उसको तब दे देते.
तब दे देते वही.
Exactly,
Correct.
so many things. All right, so last two, three comments, and then PSG won League One, and Messi will get the Ballon d'Or. I won't be surprised if he is in the top three or top five. Honestly speaking,
There was
and
some poll where Benzema he was above Benzema.
yeah, he was voted the
Some
third best player in the world.
Yeah,
I put up a tweet and I was like, I am also finding my name in the list. You never know. Even I'm in the list. If he is the third best player in the world in this year, we should check our name in the list as well. And on this note, Dhenuka, thanks a lot for joining. I was trying to get you on the channel for such a long time,
I know,
but
I
yeah,
know. It just didn't work out. See, this time it
yeah,
was like in five 5 minutes. It was like okay, this time done. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm so
exactly.
glad I was able to make it. And
I'm glad as well. Obviously it's great to have opinions of other fans. The way they want. Obviously, as United fans, our season is a misery. We are basically waiting that हमारे ऊपर दूसरे और मिजरी ना डाल के जाए. रियल मैड्रिड बचा लो भाई, विलेरियल बचा लो भाई. यही चल रहा है हमारा. हम खुद तो कुछ करते नहीं. तो एंड एक एक पॉइंट और जो जाने से पहले यू टॉक अबाउट हमारा बोर्ड हमें साइनिंग्स नहीं देता. तो व्हेन यू सेड दैट आई वांटेड टू से कि कम टू यूनाइटेड एंड ब्लेजर्स के साथ थोड़ा डील करो यार तुम. फिर तुम्हें पता लगेगा बेसिकली कि हाउ द ट्रांसफर विंडो बेसिकली
right,
मतलब तुम
right,
उनसे मांगोगे क्रूज तो वो तुम्हें लाके दे देंगे स्नाइडरलिन. तुम उनसे मांगोगे बेल तो वो तुम्हें लाके दे देंगे फेलेनी. तो ये ऐसा बोर्ड है हमारा. तो एटलीस्ट योर बोर्ड इज लाइक योर बोर्ड इज लाइक अच्छा चलो ठीक है ये बंदा नहीं आ रहा तो नहीं आ रहा. वी विल टेक इट इन द अदर विंडो और हम किसी और को उसी के कैलिबर का उठाएंगे. हम यहाँ पे मांगते कुछ है मिलता कुछ है. तो Anish bhai says great stream.
really.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining.
Thank you,
And
Anish.
hopefully we will see more of Dhenuka on the channel in the coming days,
Sure,
and
sure.
hopefully celebrating. Hopefully celebrating.
Fingers crossed. Everything crossed.
All right.
Thank.
Thanks a lot, Dhenuka, for joining tonight.
My pleasure.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.